guys, this is Allison Pryor, and remember I told you I had 10 ways to start a painting like a pro? Well, I promised that I was going to do a painting based on those that video that I did on 10 ways. So I thought this might be a good example. This is a painting that I did, and you can look at it as you can look at photographs or paintings. You can look at those steps, and then you can start your painting like the pros do, of course. So have a look at this painting that I did, and I'm going to show you. We'll go through the steps that I already mentioned, and then we're going to actually paint this again and go through those steps again, and that way you'll be able to see how the whole system works. So all you need for this painting of the landscape that we're going to do is just some ultramarine blue if you have it, and cad yellow, cad red, sap green, and burnt umber, and white. So, and maybe a bit of black if you need it, but I'm just going to leave it off for now. And that's the colors that you normally use. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, and whatever greens you have, yellows and blues and red, because I don't want you to have to not do the painting if you don't have these exact colors. But they're the most popular colors. And titanium white is also a nice white. Now this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to put my cabin in here somehow. And if you wanted to make it a little easier, you could have put your cabin in first and then your trees around it. So there's so many different ways of doing it, but I like to put my trees in first. And that way I can judge where I want my cabin. But for some people it could be the other way around. It could be the cabin first, then the trees behind it, okay? So what I'm telling you is that I'm making my own decisions, whether they're right or wrong, because I want to be in control. I don't want the picture to be in control of me, all right? So I'm going to take this cabin. The cabin's sitting down here. So I'm just sitting it down here. Have it down as far as you want. And then the cabin is going to be, let's see, it's not going to be a huge one, but we're going to make the letter A. Now you can also trace this out if you want me to send you a pattern. So make the letter A, and have to get your perspective correct. I have to go back here. And here, okay, and down, down, and down. And there's a little piece coming out here on the back, and down. Can you see that? So draw it out with a piece of chalk, or trace it if you want me to send you the pattern. Now, if you feel that you can manage without the pattern, then you go ahead and draw it. Then there's another piece coming out here. I can certainly send you the picture anyway. I just need you to let me know if you need it. It's by leaving a comment or emailing me at allisonprior@yahoo.com, and then we will get you a pattern. Okay, so now we have our cabin drawn with chalk. I'm going to use this flat nylon brush, and I'm going to paint that in solid, okay? So I'm going to pick a really dark color. You can make your own black or make a really dark color. The ultramarine blue is pretty dark, and I can add some red to it to get a really dark color. You can use pure black if you want. I got a really, really dark color. You're going to have a bit of brown. And that will make it a really dark color. This is your underpainting, okay? So let's just paint in your cabin. Don't cry about the trees. They'll be fine. Now, let's see. Alright, so follow those lines that you made. And try to keep the chalk, okay, for now. We may need 2 coats. We may need 2 coats. So you can come down into the grass a bit. So, paint that on there. See? Now you can see through it. So we are going to do a second coat, okay? Need a second coat. Definitely. Leave that line there, that chalk, leave that there so you can see where everything goes. Now, if you're more experienced, you can also, whatever way you find things easier, you just go ahead and do it whatever way you want. And like I said, if you've got any tips for us, that you think there's other ways that's a little easier to do it, or you know, anything at all, whatever you want to talk about. If you have questions to ask, I love talking to you guys, so don't be afraid to ask me any questions. Anything I can do to help. Any suggestions that you have, I will use them in my videos. I'd like to have some kind of a little contest or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think up something. Let's see. Good. Now we'll do the corners. This is where we're getting our shapes, okay? We're shaping up. Shaping up our cabin. We shaped up our trees. And our cabin. There we go. I'm keeping the, as you can see, I'm keeping the chalk lines. So we'll know where everything is. No sense making life miserable. Make it as simple as possible. Now, like I said before, you can, some people like to start their paintings by drawing everything out and putting everything in place and then working around it. Now that's something like paint by number, isn't it? But there's so many different ways, whatever you find easy. Now, like we talked about before, the focal point is going to be the cabin. And if you, some paintings, the focal point, you can draw the eye to the focal point by putting a path going up towards the cabin to draw the eye into the path, to bring it up into the focal point. And then we'll have another one coming up. So everything will be leading to the focal point. And that's a nice thing to have in your paintings also. Now I have 2 brushes to make it look like a weathered wood look. And I have this one here. See how the bristles, well, they're not bristles, it's a synthetic brush. But see how they're separated? They'll separate your paint for you, okay? And that'll give you the weathered look. And I also have, if you don't have one of those, it's okay. Then just use a bristle brush, okay? See, as long as the bristles are rough and some of them are separated on the top, good. If you don't have anything like that, you could, if you got a brush that's just flat, say you only had a brush like that, that's just flat, and you didn't have anything at all that had those dents in them, like this, then you could take a pair of scissors and cut out your brush to have those. See, just all you need is a pair of scissors and just cut into it to get it to look like that, okay? So you can make your own. Alright. So I'm just going to take that base color. Now this is dry, okay? I'm going to take that base color that we have with the brown and the blue, add a little bit of red to it, to purple it up a little bit. Now you don't have to have purple, it can be gray, light gray, or you know, any color that will be lighter than your underpainting for your cabin. And I add a little bit of white to it to brighten it up a little bit, because we only want to do a little bit first. See what it comes out like. So now I'm putting that on my brush, okay, and that brought the bristles together, and we don't want that. So I'm going to dry it off in my tissue so that I get it back and I don't have a big lot of paint on my brush, okay? Let's see how that works. So now you take your brush and you drag it straight down, okay? So you can start underneath the ledge there and pull. Okay? And now you can start underneath your ledge and pull. We'll lighten that up a little bit in a minute. If you need more paint, go and get it, but make sure you wipe some of it off in your tissue. We don't want it too much because it'll be hard to work with. Touch and pull. Touch and pull. Touch and pull. Okay, see, that looks like the weathered look. And we'll put some on the side. Now I'm going to use the bristle brush just to show you how that works too, okay? I'll try different brushes so you can see how to bristle, because you might only have a bristle brush. So I just put some paint on my bristle. And I'm wiping it off in my tissue just a little bit. And then I'm going to touch and pull. And that gives it a pretty good weathered look, see? So that works too. So don't worry if you don't have the exact brushes. Everybody says, you got to have this brush, you got to have that brush. No, you don't. No, you don't. But you do have to have enough brushes that you can choose from. So I'm just putting a little bit on the roof line. As long as you let some of that dark color come through, you're fine. Alright. So I'm going to keep using this brush. I kind of like it. It's nice and... I love bristle brushes, so you can do anything with them. They're really good. So, I'm going to add a little bit of a lighter purplish color by using the same color that we just had. And I'm going to add a bit of white to it to brighten it up. Okay. Now, wipe it off in your tissue and touch and pull. We will start a little bit more to the center. Alright. Good. A little bit on the corner here because it's the shadow, so you don't want to put too much in the back there because that's the shadow area. And a little bit on the roof. See? It looks like a weathered look. Now let's take the edges. Okay, so like this up here. See how dark underneath the roof is, and on the edges and around the door. We haven't got a door in yet, but we will. So we're going to do that now. And what we do is we get back to our dark paint again with our blue. Now you can do the black if you want, depending on what you're using. And a bit of brown, just to get that really dark look. There you are. And I'm using a chiseled edge synthetic brush. Alright, chisel. Okay, that way I can get the straight lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more black underneath the roof line here. Straighten up that there. Good. And on the other side, let's put that there to make it look like shadows. Good. So now we can go over the chalk a little bit. So that's underneath there. I'm finding that's not black enough, so I'm going to put some green and brown and blue. No, I'm not going to do that. Let's just put the blue and brown and a little bit of black if you need it. Okay, and we'll get a nice dark color. Alright. that shadow to be really, really dark. And I want it to be blue. And to be almost black. Okay, see how you can make changes? And now we can come down this edge here. Get that edge. Going right over the chalk. You can take the chalk off first if you want. Might need 2 coats on that edge there. And we'll do the other edge over here. Good. And go back over anything that needs to be fixed. And up underneath here, I notice back here is off a little bit, so let's fix that too. Go back here and bring it down, fill it in. We'll do another coat on that. We'll go back over all the lines, all the chalk lines that you made. That's now what you're going to be going over with your black paint, which is blue and burnt umber and ultramarine blue. If you don't have that, just use some black. Okay, now, so underneath this one here, let's see. Underneath this one here, all right, underneath. Good. And you can pull some of that black up into the roof with the corner of your brush, and that will give the illusion of weathered wood also. Good. Get a little. Now we don't have to do complete final details right now, but we can fix up what we need to fix up. Put in a few lines just to show that it's weathered wood, so you can go back in and add more lines. Okay, and that gives it the effect of that old look to the building. Good, and we'll just play around with that now. Okay, and just underneath here. You're just outlining your cabin really, aren't you? And over here. Good. Okay, made a little mess there. That's no big deal. That can be easily fixed. I am not going to worry about it right now. And I'm coming down the edge here. See? Isn't that the coolest thing you ever did see? Clean off your brush, and now while this is wet up here, pull that down into your cabin, and that will also give it looks of wood. See? See how cool is that? It's so easy. Well, it wasn't easy when I first started, but it's easy, and if you practice, and practicing not just to make you better, but to get used to the different techniques. It's like learning to play piano. You have to keep going over and over so you can learn. All right, that's starting to look better there now. Okay, so in order to put the path up to here, we have to know where the door is going. So why don't we put a little door in our house, in our cabin. So let's get closer to the cabin. Good. So what we'll do is we'll make a door. Use your chiseled edge synthetic brush, and I'm going to put a bit of blue and a bit of black. I'm finding that my brown is not giving me the dark that I want, so I'm going to use a bit of black. So if you have ultramarine blue and burnt umber, you will get a nice black color, okay? So I'm just going to put some black with my blue, make it really, really dark. And I'm going to figure out where I want my door. So I am going to put a door. I'm going to take my brush. This will be the easiest way to do this. Take your brush and turn it on the horizontal. This will be vertical if you flip it up this way, okay? And this is horizontal, all right? So this is the way I'm going to do it. You can do it whatever way you want. And I'm going to touch where I want the door. I'm just going to come under the ledge here. And I'm going to come almost center, but a little off to the center. And I'm going to push, and I'm going to pull. Pull, 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 pull. That way I get some nice edges to my door, my straight edges there. Love these brushes. We got a door. Yay. So we'll put our path up to our door now.